Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Woodland Reboot. Today I'm coming to you from my office at home and wanted to do a little bit of a change of pace with this video because I need to get through a couple of different things. So what I'm going to show you about or talk to you about today in today's video is I'm going to give you a little bit of a glimpse into the other work that I do, and in order to do that I'm going to tell you a little bit about this picture over my left shoulder. And beyond that, what are we going to cover in today's video? I'm going to introduce you to the trusses that I'm getting ready to install in an upcoming video. I'm going to talk to you about some materials that I've bought used. And so those materials include a garage door, a large one being 12 feet wide and 10 feet high, as well as some windows that I've purchased used and that I'm going to refurbish and put to use in my new structure. All in an effort to achieve two things with this used material. Number one, I'm not trying to create the world's best shop garage, and I think that there's a lot of very good material out there in the used marketplace that I can put to use. And number two, it of course saves me a little bit of money at the end of the day. The garage door that you're about to see later in this video, I bought it used for $300, brand new installed. You're looking probably at around $3,500. So I've started cleaning it up and making sure I have all of the components and bracketry to install the door. But that signifies a significant saving and one that justifies my making the effort of rehabilitating that door. Same thing with the windows. You're going to see that the windows I'm going to show you later on in this video are actually not bad at all. They need a little bit of work, but they're not bad at all. Okay, let me tell you about my other work by just showcasing that photo up on my mantle there over my shoulder. Okay, so as you can see the date here, this was from a ministerial council conference that I attended in Bodo, Norway, above the Arctic Circle, back in March 1999. As you can see, the photo is provided to all the participants, representatives of their various organizations or countries by the Royal Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Norway. And this is the annual Barents Euro-Arctic Region Conference. All of these representatives either represent countries or organizations who are active in the Arctic region or are present in the Arctic region. So, for example, you've got the Canadian Arctic Ambassador, you have then Secretary of State Strobe Talbot from the US, and the other two that I remember are I believe this lady is the Swedish Foreign Minister, and this gentleman is the Norwegian Foreign Minister. And the other individuals are either ambassadors or the foreign ministers of the various countries that touch into the Arctic. For example, there's the Russian ambassador that's in there. I just don't remember all the characters because it was so long ago. And lo and behold, there I am. That's a very young me back in 1999. And the organization I was representing at this conference was the United Nations Development Program. We were in the process of applying and negotiating and being given entry and access to and becoming a member of the Council of the Barents Euro-Arctic region. And we were doing that because the United Nations Development Program at that time was operating initiatives and funding activities in countries like the Russian Federation. And so working with the populations and communities that we were working with in the north of the Russian Federation made sense. It therefore made sense for us to apply and become a member of this organization so that we could be more involved in various aspects and discussions that were going on concerning transboundary issues in the Arctic region. Okay, that's a little bit of an insight into the other work that I do and that I'm involved in, using one example. I have others, but I'm probably boring most of you guys out there with this information, but I thought you might be interested to see some of the other work that I've been involved with during my career. So here's item number one for today's video. and that's to have an initial look at the trusses that I've ordered for the project. And for this exercise, we're going to look at the drawing that was produced and agreed with the truss company concerning the trusses that I've ordered and paid for. They've actually been delivered on site, and in the next video you're going to see them, as well as the process of starting to quote unquote start to fly them in to position, that is, put them in place on the roof. Now, what's important mainly about the trusses, number one, is that I have not made an attempt to make these on my own. I could have gone to an engineering firm, provided them with the specs for my building. They would then have produced acceptable drawings, which would then have been approved by the municipality, and then I would have proceeded to build the trusses. That would have been a significant undertaking. What else is interesting about the trusses? 2x6s on the bottom. Top cords are 2x4s, and all the webbing is 2x4, including the king post. I've got a 10.5-inch overhang on each side, which becomes a full foot when you put the 1.5-inch 2x6 fascia board in place. So it's essentially a foot-long overhang. What else is interesting? These instructions here are exceptionally useful. And again, I'm a novice at this, so this has all been learning to me. So if any of you are considering undertaking this kind of a project where you order the trusses, all the information that you need concerning installation of bracing, for example, is all listed in here. It tells you the type of distances and where you need to put the bracing. For example, mine requires bracing from truss to truss, the total 48 length of the roof distance every 6 feet along this bottom cord of the truss. You can see right there that 2x4 that we're looking at on end there and there. That requires bracing from the first truss connecting each of the other trusses all the way through to the last truss. And those are some of the main issues. There's some other bracing that's required linking the various king posts together. And of course, the big job to get completed prior to the installation of the steel is to install all of the purlins. So I believe I have, it's either 9 or 10 rows of purlins on each side, 2 feet on center. I believe the maximum space between purlins can be 2 feet, so it's not quite 2 feet on center. And that will take quite a bit of time as a single individual, installing all the purlins across the top of the trusses. Once that's done, once I get the fascia board in place here and on the front gable and the back gable of the building, then I'll be ready to install the steel. Here's a picture of the overhead door just after I finished washing it on one of the warmer days last week, early last week. Unfortunately, I didn't take any video footage of the door. Again, the door is 12 feet wide, 10 foot high. I have purchased it used. There are a couple creases and some scratches here and there, but overall this door is in very good shape and it's insulated. So when I say I got it for $300 and the installed price is roughly 35 or 3,400 Canadian dollars, that's for an insulated door. And they can even be much more expensive depending on how many bells and whistles you would like to add. Anyway, there's the door. Today I'm actually coming to you from my garage, and I'm here working on some casement windows that I purchased recently, used for the shop. They're a nice, large size. They're casement windows, as I said. You can see one is cranked open right here. And I'm working on cleaning them off. I got them used. I actually got them for a fantastic price. I'll show you the windows in a second. And scratch that. I paid 100 Canadian for these 3 windows. They were asking 150. And they were more than happy to see them go. Having said that, I need to explain to you the challenge with these windows. On 2 of the 3 windows, there's this really unsightly goop. Like, it's really bad. And it's this really kind of sticky thing. I don't know what they did to it. And you can see how thick and ugly it is right here. I've actually started cleaning this window. But if you look over here, you see how ugly that is right there. Now, if you look at the window that I have behind here, the caulking on this window is perfectly clean. As we scroll up, you see over there, and then as we go down this side here, that caulking is nice and clean, and also the bottom of the window down there. We're looking at the caulking here. The sills are a little bit dirt. So that's a clean window. So this one that I'm touching right now, as you can see, ugly and gunky. And I started this process yesterday. And so here's the one that I've been working on and that I have been cleaning. You see how this has been cleaned up and it looks quite a bit nicer. Actually, exceptionally what? It's a great improvement over what it was. These were probably, this window I'm showing you right now was probably the dirtiest of the 2 that needed cleaning. And again, I'm not looking for perfect here, but that's an improvement. You know, you don't want to walk down the side of the building and see these windows and, you know, you can tell they're used, but you don't want to see this gunk on them. At least I don't want to. I don't have to be perfect with it. The windows are in good shape. The cranks work. They'll keep the warm in and the cold out. The odd thing, I tried a couple of different cleaners and I showed the gunky mess to my wife and then she said, why don't you try this? It's easy off. You know, cleaning all that gunk out of your ovens and your stove tops. And there's some scraping involved. You're going to see that I'm involved in some scraping here to get this clean. But this is the product that is working. And I put these down because obviously with gravity, the white foam and the gunk that comes down is going to spill onto the window frame at the bottom, and the paper towels just catch and soak up most of that goop as it comes down. But what I do, and what I did on that first window, was that I just sprayed it. And this is one of the reasons why I'm wearing the glasses. Even though I'm spraying it in a certain direction, the fumes and a bit of the spray does come back. So I've got the hat to keep it off my hair, the glasses to keep it out of my eyes. And the instructions are very simple. You spray it on. In the case of an oven, you let it sit for 30 minutes. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to spray this on. And I'm putting it on quite liberally. It's a bit of a heavy coat I'm doing. I'm going to spray down the middle here too because it cleans off this runner. So here's what you're left with in terms of residue after 30 minutes of the easy off on the side of the window. And you can see how it runs down there onto that paper towel that I placed there. It is slimy, goopy stuff, and it's time for me to get busy and wipe it up. The caulking of this window. But as I mentioned earlier, scraping will be required to get it to look a bit nicer. Leaves a residue on the window, and that's why I tried the Windex on the other one earlier, and that looked like it worked, so I'll do that with all of them. Ugh, look at that. Ugh, that is pretty rude. Rude is an understatement. Looks like something that came out of the mouth of the beast in the Alien movie series. All right. So I think you can see this discoloration along here. This is dramatically cleaner than before the Easy Off, but I think I'm able to scrape this discoloration off. Let's see if it works. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's going right down to the white. That is excellent. And you can see over here, on the other pane that's yet to be done, right up there, you can see how dirty and grungy that joint is right there. I'm going to be getting all that out before the end of the day. That has worked out well. And with that, everyone, please remember to subscribe, like, and share. And I'm going to let you go from the wonderful, wonderful world of cleaning window frames.